Welcome back to The Wisdom of Sex with a Bonus episode, a podcast where we unpack the beautiful, messy, and occasionally disastrous world of love and relationships. I'm your host, Dr. Heather Wisdom, and today we're talking about something that might feel a little too close to home for some of you. Christmas, the most wonderful time of the year, right? Full of joy, love, and magical moments with family and friends. Sure it is. But if you've ever found yourself crying next to a Christmas tree while your partner walks away in frustration, then you know that the holiday glow sometimes comes with a side of emotional burnout. Today we're talking about how Christmas ruins relationships. And no, I'm not being dramatic. Christmas has ended relationships, broken hearts, and sent couples into full-blown arguments that start over something as small as which way the lights should wrap around the tree. But it's not just about the gifts or the decorations. Oh no, it's about everything that Christmas reveals about your relationship. So today, we're going to dig into why this holiday has so much power over love, hear a true story from someone who learned this lesson the hard way, and finally, I'll share some practical strategies to make sure Christmas doesn't become the final chapter of your love story. If that sounds a little too real for you, good, stay with me. But before we jump in, let me remind you to check out my other two shows, Tales on the Couch, a show that tells the true crime stories in less than 10 minutes. And if you like political scandals or want to understand politics more, tune in to Whispers of the White House. Both shows are available now on all major podcast platforms. Thank you to those who have been listening and giving 5 stars. I really appreciate you. Okay, let's get into it. All right, first things first. Why does Christmas ruin relationships? It's supposed to be all love and light, right? Well, not exactly. Here's the truth. Christmas brings with it a ton of invisible pressure. Pressure to buy the perfect gift, pressure to spend time with both families, pressure to make everything feel magical. And that's before you even factor in the financial stress of holiday shopping or the emotional strain of dealing with in-laws. If you're in a new relationship, you're worried about, will this gift show them how much I care? If you're in a long-term relationship, you're worried about, why am I still the only one doing all the Christmas planning? Sound familiar? You're not alone. All that stress has a sneaky way of bringing out the cracks in a relationship. Maybe it's the lack of communication. Maybe it's unresolved resentment. Or maybe it's just the fact that December turns into a non-stop sprint to keep everyone happy, except for yourselves. And when the cracks start to show, that's when it happens. The argument, the blow-up, the why do I have to do everything around here moment that every couple swears they won't have, until they do. I want to share a real story with you. This one comes from a listener who inspired this episode. Let's call her Emily. Emily reached out to me after a past episode and shared a story that's so real, it hurts. Emily had been dating her boyfriend Matt for about 3 years. Things were going well. Not perfect, but well enough that she was sure this Christmas would be the start of something bigger. She had plans. She'd hinted that maybe, just maybe, this Christmas would be the one where he'd propose. She even spotted him browsing a jewelry store website once. So she put in the effort, decorated the apartment, handpicked every ornament, booked dinner with his family and hers to make sure they'd get that holiday balance. And of course, she bought him a thoughtful, personalized gift. A framed collection of concert tickets from all the shows they'd been to together. Cute, right? Christmas morning rolls around. She wakes up early, heart racing with excitement. They sit down by the tree. She's watching his every move, waiting for that box-shaped gift moment. You know the one I'm talking about. But when he handed her her gift, it was a candle. A candle, not a fancy one from a luxury boutique. Just a store-bought candle from the corner shop down the street. The kicker? It wasn't even a scent she liked. Now look, we're not here to bash candles. Candles are great. But in that moment, it wasn't about the candle. It was about what it represented. It felt like she'd poured her heart into making Christmas perfect, and he'd spent $10 on a that'll-do kind of gift. And the worst part? She couldn't hide her disappointment. What started as an awkward, "Oh, thanks, babe," turned into a full-blown argument. She brought up everything, how she did all the planning, how she'd spent weeks thinking about his gift, and how he'd apparently grabbed a candle on his way home. He fired back with, "It's not about the gifts." And she said, "That's easy to say when you're the one giving the candle." They spent the rest of Christmas Day not speaking. By New Year's, they were broken up. And I know, you might be thinking, they broke up over a candle? But it wasn't the candle. It was everything the candle symbolized: effort, care, thoughtfulness. And to be clear, it wasn't that he didn't propose to her either. She wrote, if he had just put some thought into the gift. It didn't have to be an engagement ring, just something more meaningful. Those are the cracks that Christmas tends to expose. But guess what? It doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to be Emily and Matt this Christmas. If you want to keep your relationship intact through the holidays, I've got a few survival strategies that'll help you stay merry, not miserable. Look, you know what doesn't go well with eggnog? Surprises about holiday plans. If you wait until December 24th to ask, "Hey, are we doing gifts this year?" You've already lost. Don't do it. Set those expectations early. Sit down with your partner before December even begins and talk it out. Ask questions like, are we exchanging gifts this year? Are we visiting your family, my family, or nobody's family? Do we want to spend Christmas morning in pajamas at home? Or are we driving 3 hours to your cousin's house? Now, let me ask you something. Why does one person end up doing all the Christmas work while the other person suddenly can't figure out how to hang garland? Sound familiar? Yeah, I know. Here's the thing. You're a team, so act like it. Split the labor. If one of you is handling the gifts, then the other one takes care of travel plans. If one of you is decorating the house, then the other one is on dinner reservations. It's not about helping, it's about partnership. Nobody wins if one of you is carrying 95% of the load while the other one is supervising. You know who does it all alone? Single people, and even they sometimes enlist friends. So unless you want to end up alone, start delegating and splitting the Christmas chores. Your relationship will thank you. Here's a truth bomb for you. Your Christmas doesn't have to look like a Pottery Barn catalog. Seriously, the tree does not have to be perfect. The cookies don't have to look like they came from a baking competition. The gifts, they don't have to be life-changing. And that whole idea of a perfect Christmas day? It's a fantasy cooked up by holiday movies that have a production crew of 50 people making everything look magical. You know what the real magic is? Not stressing out about the napkin fold at dinner. Trust me, nobody's going to remember if the tree is a little lopsided or if the wrapping paper doesn't match. What they will remember is how they felt. Were you happy? Were you present? Or were you on your third stress-induced breakdown because the gingerbread house collapsed? Here's your mantra for this holiday season. Done is better than perfect. So, when you feel yourself spiraling because the snowflake cookies aren't Pinterest perfect, just stop. Nobody cares, I promise. All right, I want you to think about this next strategy as a holiday cheat code. You ready? Check in with each other. And I don't mean, hey, you good? As you walk by. I'm talking about a real check-in. Sit down, look each other in the eye and ask, hey, how are you feeling about all these Christmas plans? Is there anything we need to shift? You'd be surprised how much this simple question can change the whole vibe. It can stop a big argument before it even starts. Here's what happens if you don't do it. Holiday stress builds up. The pressure to make everything perfect builds up. And then, boom, a tiny disagreement over a string of lights suddenly becomes a full-on, I can't believe you forgot my mom's gift argument, and nobody wins. A quick check-in can diffuse that bomb before it goes off. It doesn't take long, just a couple of minutes. But those couple of minutes could save you hours of arguing. You'll thank me later. Okay, this last one is big, so lean in. Remember what really matters. When the presents are unwrapped and the dishes are done, do you think you'll be lying in bed thinking, man, I'm so glad the Christmas lights were evenly spaced this year? No. What you'll remember is how you made each other feel. Did you make each other feel loved, supported, seen? Or did you spend the whole day arguing about who forgot the gravy? I'm going to tell you something that might sound a little too deep for a holiday episode, but here it is. Most holiday fights aren't about the holiday at all. When you're fighting about the gift, the lights, or the burnt cookies, you're usually fighting about something bigger. It's about feeling unseen, unheard, or unsupported. So when that argument starts to bubble up, hit pause. Ask yourself, is this really about the lights, or is this about something deeper? And if it's something deeper, it's okay to name it. Talk it out. Because at the end of the day, the only thing people are going to remember is how you made them feel. And that, my friends, is the best gift you can give. So if you're listening to this on December 23rd and you're thinking, oh no, I think we're becoming Emily and Matt, don't worry, it's not too late. Here's the quick recap. Set expectations early. Don't wing it. Split the holiday labor. Teamwork makes the dream work. Let go of perfection. Nobody cares if the tree is a little crooked. Check in with each other. Small talks stop big fights. And remember what really matters. It's not the gifts, it's the feeling. If you follow those 5 strategies, I can almost guarantee you'll avoid an Emily and Matt style Christmas crisis. And if you don't, well, I'll be here next year with more advice. Take it from Emily. Take it from me. Don't make Christmas the battleground for your relationship. Instead, make it the place where you show up for each other. Thoughtful gifts are great, but thoughtful effort is better. Well, our time is up for this episode. If this episode spoke to you, do me a favor. Share it with a friend, a partner, or that one person in your life who might be an Emily right now. You could be saving a relationship this holiday season. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show. I'm Dr. Wisdom, and I'll catch you next time on The Wisdom of Sex. Until then, be open, be curious, know your limits, don't be rude, stay wise, and have a Merry Christmas.